Welcome back to my DIY back to school projects, and here I created a really fun dry erase board using some washi tape and some scrapbook paper. I also created this really cute little dry eraser that you can clip onto the board, and you can have it on hand whenever you need to erase something. And I did make it into a little monster, but you can leave it plain, and you can even cut some holes on the side and stick it into your planner or your binder to kind of keep it on hand in case you need to write something down really quick. So here I am just trimming down my 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper that I used, and I actually trimmed it down to 8.5 by 11 so that it can fit into a binder for school. This would be really fun for a high school student or a middle schooler. They can write on it if they need to take a real quick note and they can't find something to write on. They can write on it, and then when they get home they can dry erase it. Or you can also use this little dry erase board for yourself, or for homework, so that you can kind of take a brain teaser and maybe do some tic-tac-toe on the back, and I'll be showing you guys how I created that. But now I am just trying to put down some washi tape that I got from Hobby Lobby. And again, I always get my washi tape when it's 40% off, because that just seems to be more, I can't get it down either, but it just seems to be less expensive, because you actually get, usually when it's 50% off the Paper Studio, you get 2 for 1, so I can get 4 rolls instead of just the 2 rolls. So that's when I tried to get my washi tape. And so I'm just going to stick it down, and then I'm going to cut around the edges, because I don't want that excess on there, because the back I am going to be using it for the tic-tac-toe board. And again, you can even print out some handwriting, what is it called, notebook paper, where you practice your hand lettering or your handwriting, and you can even laminate that and use that as a dry erase board if you are trying to teach your kindergartner. I did that one year for my kindergartner. Actually, I didn't do it, his teacher did it, and that's where I kind of got this idea from. But yeah, she did that, and he would practice his writing on that as well every afternoon, which is really fun. So here I'm just making the tic-tac-toe board using some thin washi that I got at Hobby Lobby. And you can basically decorate these or use these for whatever. You can also make them like your weekly. You can turn them into a weekly kind of note jotting, where you can just put your Monday through Friday, and you can do it landscape view or horizontal, as you want to say. And you can stick it on your fridge, because it is so thin that you can put a magnet on top of it, and it will hold it onto the fridge, so that you can write your dinners down. Or there's so many possibilities with this idea. I just wanted to kind of get it out there so you guys can see it, and maybe y'all can come up with your own ideas for this. But yeah, so I'm just going to be finishing up my tic-tac-toe. I did 2 of them, so that way you don't have to erase every time. You can at least play 2 times and then erase it. And then I am trying to figure out where I want to put player 1 and player 2, so that they can kind of keep score. And so I go in with my blue, I believe, and I do player 1, and then player 2 is in pink. And I thought this would be so super fun, because my son's been having a lot of trouble, staying focused. And I thought this would be really fun to kind of have one of these, so that when he does homework this year, because they bring home big packets of homework. I don't know about your kids, but I've got 4. I've got a high schooler, 2 high schoolers, 1 middle schooler, and 1 elementary. And even my elementary son brings home a ton of homework. And so I think that this would be really fun to kind of pull this out, and in between, his homework, he can kind of get like a little brain break, and we can do, 2 of these tic-tac-toes, and then kind of refocus and get back to doing our homework, because it is really, really, they bring home so much homework, it's unreal. But here I am putting down the washi, and then I'm going to outline it with some black marker, because I realized that you really couldn't see it that well with all the background, all the flowers in the background. So I went ahead and outlined it with a black Sharpie. And you want to do this before you laminate it, because once you laminate it, if you do the Sharpie, I mean, it will work, but I like to have everything written on and drawn on before you laminate, so that once you laminate, the only thing you worry about is the dry erase markers. And so now I am going to be putting it into a Scotch thermal laminating pouch, and you can buy these at Walmart. You can find them at Target, and I believe you can even find them at Hobby Lobby and use the coupon for them. I haven't seen them at Michael's, but they might carry them at Michael's. I'm not too sure. And so now I'm just going to be using my Scotch laminator that I had purchased also at Walmart for, I believe it was $20. And this is really fun to have because you can also laminate some of your kids' school projects that you don't want them to get ripped up. And then I will show you guys, I'm going to come back with a series on how I store all of those, because I have 4 kids and their stuff is everywhere. I actually have a binder system for their most important work. And then if it's not that important, but I kind of want to keep a record of it, I will take a picture of it. And then later on I can scrapbook it, or I can just throw it into a photo album and I remember, oh, he did that, because some of their projects are so big and so bulky that they don't fit into normal, you know, Tupperware tubs or tubs, and I just can't keep them. So that's what I do with those. But here I am showing you guys that how I am going to make the little eraser, and I am using a little pom-pom, 3 little eyeballs, googly eyes, and then a paper clip. And right here I am looking for the seam that binds the pom-pom together, and it's going to be white, but you can use any color pom-pom, black ones, red ones. If you're doing this for a little boy like my son, I want to try to go get him a red one so I can make him a little blue monster and a red monster. And here you can see the little white seam, and I'm just going to stick the paper clip through that all the way through. And then I am going to glue it right there, and I'm going to just put a little dab of glue, of hot glue, and I'm going to be sealing it, as you can see there, so that it doesn't move. And now I am going to just be gluing on my little eyes, and you can put them, I like to put them towards the bottom, because when you put it upside down to erase, he still looks like a little monster, and then when you put him upwards, it still looks like a little monster. Because you don't want them to be down at the bottom, because that's where you're going to use to erase it, and it will scratch your laminated sheet. The little eyeballs will scratch up against that. So I tried to do them as far to the bottom as possible, because once you flip it over and use that paper clip as your handle to erase, you don't want those touching, you know, your laminated sheet, if that makes sense, which it might not, I don't know. And see, I've been having lots of fun see how I have it upside down there so that you can hold it whenever you erase. So yeah, I've been having lots of fun making these projects for you guys. I hope that y'all really enjoyed them. So as you can see here, I'm just going to be clipping it on the top, and you can keep it clipped on there so that you don't lose it. And then I'm just going to be showing you that I'm going to write my name, and then I'm going to just show you guys how to basically, that it does work, it is functional. And now I'm getting my little eraser, and I'm going to erase it. And there is black smudges. You do get black smudges from this idea, but then once your kid is done playing with it, you can go and wash it with a washcloth or a wipey, and it comes right off. And now I'm just going to be doing some tic-tac-toe by myself. And I love this idea of tic-tac-toe because it never gets old. Tic-tac-toe is like the oldest, best, funnest game ever, especially when you're super bored. And now I'm just going to show you guys that it does erase, and you see it doesn't, once you laminate it, you don't have to rewrite the lines or anything like that. So I hope that you guys like these projects, and I hope that y'all have been enjoying my back to school DIY series, and thank you all so much for watching.